Hello all, welcome back to the next one. In this lecture, we will actually see a practical implementation of parameters and parallel examples for Selenium WebDriver. So let me actually bring up Eclipse and let me bring up the website also. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna run a login test case. We're gonna come to let'scodeit.teachable.com and then click on login, and then we will just log into this website. And what we're going to do here is we're going to log into this website and run this test case in parallelly for two browsers, Firefox and Chrome. So basically we cover those things, and we will take inputs from the testng.xml file, so it will cover our parameter stuff also. Let me minimize it and let me show you what I have in the Eclipse. I created a XML file, named it as testng-selenium-parallel.xml. What I have here is parallel test suite as the name of the suite. I provided parallel as test and thread count is 2. So I have two tests here. If you guys can see, I have two tests here. The first one I named it as Firefox test. The second one is Chrome test, and I'm using parameter to provide the browser. So parameter name browser is Firefox, and for Chrome the browser value is Chrome. And then I have one class here. The class name is testng_selenium parameters parallel example. I know the name is really big, but it kind of suits it because we are doing the real example with Selenium. We are covering parameters and we are covering parallel, both the concepts here, and it's an example of that. So it's kind of decent name, and it's obviously the same class we are executing here because we want to do the same thing in parallel for different browsers. And here we go, we have our class. So what I have here is the class name. Then I defined WebDriver, driver, and string base URL here on the top. Please make sure to define it on the top. Do not initialize it yet, just define them. And then we will initialize them in the before class method. And if you don't define it here, you will not be able to use it in other places like after class and those places. So we don't want to define them inside before class. We want to define them outside and initialize them inside before class. Then we have @before class. I initialize the base URL here. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make use of the parameters. So @parameters from testng, and inside parentheses we'll use curly braces and we will say browser, and this accepts one argument called browser, so it will fetch that browser from the parameter in the test tag, right? Now what we can do here is we can actually use kind of if conditions. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say if browser dot and equals ignore case, and in this I'll say Firefox. If this is Firefox, then I will do a different setup. Else if, let me just copy this, so we'll change the name of the browser, and if it's Chrome, then I will do a different setup here. So what I want to do here is if the name of the browser is Firefox, then I will actually initiate the driver as a Firefox driver, and if the name is Chrome, then I will initiate the Chrome driver. So let me just copy the simple line from this small class Firefox driver demo. So I'm copying the system.set property for Gecko driver and setting up it as a driver as a new Firefox driver. So that's what we are doing, and that's about it. Same thing we'll do for Chrome. So I'm going to copy the same thing. Instead of Gecko driver, I'm going to change it to Chrome driver, and here also Chrome driver. So please make sure that you mention these locations correctly, right? Because I know this is my correct location and you will have a different location for your project. So name it properly. And here instead of this Firefox driver, we will say we need a Chrome driver. All set. That's what we want to do. This is how we use the parameters. Now we have this set up. I'm gonna do a few more things like driver.manage.window.maximize and driver.manage.timeouts.implicitly wait and 10, and I'm gonna provide time unit dot seconds. So we are putting implicit wait of 10 seconds, and then here I'm gonna use driver.get and base URL. So that's our setup method. This is all done and said. Let me just minimize it, and let's minimize the import statements. So now we have the full focus on @test annotation method. So I named it as test login, and let's see what we want to define here. So let's go to the website. The first thing we want to go here is, after reaching the base URL, we want to find the XPath for this login. So I'm just going to click on this, and it is an anchor tag with the class. I don't want to use this text because I see some white space. So this is a little inconsistent. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this href attribute. So if href attribute contains the sign in text, then I can find it. So let's go to Eclipse back again, and I'm going to say web element login link equals to driver dot find element dot by XPath, and my XPath expression would be a contains, inside contains, I'll provide @href comma, and this contains slash sign underscore in. That's what we did there, right? And after that, put a semicolon. And for web element, let's import it from org.openqa.selenium. Now once I find the element, we will say login link dot click. After the click, we need to find other elements. So let's see what happens when I click on it. So I reach to the new page, and I see other elements as email and password. Then I need to find the login button. So these three elements I need to find, and that's about it for this example. So that's good. This element has an ID called user email, so we can simply use it. So I'm going to define web element, and email field is the good name. Driver dot find element by dot ID, and we already copied it. Once we have the email field, we will say send keys, and the keys to send is test@email.com. I'm just giving any email, so it doesn't have to be correct. Now I'm gonna find the password field, and this one is driver.find element by .id. We'll provide the ID, and then password field dot send keys and ABC, and then finally web element and login button, the one on the down, which will enable us to log into application. So driver dot find element, and let's see what it has. So let's find both the elements together. So for password also, we have an ID called user password. Let's copy this here. So we're all done with the password field, and now let's figure out the login button. So input, and this one doesn't have an ID, but it has a name called commit. So let's find this element with the name commit. So I think this should be good for us. So by dot name. So we kind of use pretty much everything here. We use by XPath, we use by ID, we use by name, and it's a good test case. So once we find the login button, what we need to do here is we need to click it, and all set. So we have our test method done. We have our setup already done. And now let's try to run it using the testng.xml file. So I'm going to right click this one. And what we expect here is, okay, let me, close this Firefox browser. So we actually don't have anything running. Now we expect Firefox and Chrome to come up in parallel and run the test cases together. So run as a testng suite. And let's see. So Firefox came in and Chrome came in. They both are working on in parallel. As you can see here, this is Chrome going on, and Chrome looks like it finished a lot earlier. And then at the back now Firefox is going on and everything is done. So basically both of them came up in parallel and executed the scenarios together, and we can see that obviously there would be some difference in little bit of time when Chrome came up and Firefox came up, depending on our system RAM speed and memory and also browser speed. So sometimes Chrome can come up before Firefox and sometimes Firefox can come up before Chrome, but they're still running in parallel, right? So that's a real example that we wanted to take a look. Please download the code files, execute it, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next lectures, guys. Thanks for attending this one. Thanks.